Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. We are doubling up this time. We have the Medicom toy Mafex Marvel number 88 Venom and number 118 Carnage. These are the reissues of the end of 2024. So Big Bad Toy Store has these in stock. I had pre-ordered as soon as they went up, got them shipped out, and I just got them last night, so I'm very excited for this. Especially Carnage. Venom, funny story, right? Venom released, missed out on it. Got a reissue, ordered it, pre-ordered it right away, got it, and then eventually at some point I sold it off. I'm like, oh, let me just stick to Spider-Man's when it comes to Mafex. Here we are in 2024, and I'm like, Mafex crazy, right? So now, happy to have Venom again. I actually reviewed that first reissue years ago on the channel, so that's why I'm doubling it up with Carnage. I never got the Carnage figure, and as far as I know or can remember, this is the first reissue of the Carnage figure. I don't think it got reissued in the past. It came out years and years ago, but reissue here. I could be wrong on that. If I'm wrong, you guys let me know down in the comments below. But I got both of them. Very happy to have them. They're actually still both in stock at Big Bad Toy Store right now. Sometimes it's weird, like they were out of stock, pre-sold out for a long time, and then they got them in, and then they shipped out, and a few days later, boom, in stock, and they seem to have a bunch of them. So if you're looking to pick up Venom or Carnage or both, links in the video description below because they are in stock. But again, I'm excited. We'll do a comparison with Spider-Man so you guys can see how Venom looks, how Carnage looks. Venom is... People don't like the size of Venom. He's not, like, he's bigger than Spider-Man. I don't think he's taller than Spider-Man. He's probably the same height as Spider-Man. And I would think Eddie Brock would be taller than Peter Parker. He doesn't need to be massively bulky or anything like that. But I feel like he should have been a little bit taller. But it moves really well and looks really good, so we have that. The boxes really stand out. We got a purple, we got a red. They look really good. You can see Die Spider-Man and killing is what I do. That's kind of crazy. These guys, oh my goodness. The top of the box there, and looking at the back of the box, you can see the accessories and things that Venom and Carnage come with. So really cool. I'm excited. Let's go ahead and open these up and let's take a look. Hey guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are 200 subscribers away from hitting the 50,000 subscriber mark. I set the goal for the end of 2024 to hit 50,000 subscribers, and it is within arm's reach. So if you're new here, I do action figure reviews all the time. If you've been here before, welcome back. But if you haven't, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can be up to date with all the latest action figure reviews and help me reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers. Okay, so we have Venom and Carnage out of the package, and I don't remember exactly, because it was so long ago that I had the Venom figure, I don't remember exactly everything about it. He feels larger to me than what he was before. I'm sure it's the exact same. It just feels a little bit bigger. I'm sure the height is still going to be the main issue with Venom. The Carnage figure, I'm a big fan because I never had the Carnage figure in the past and I didn't really know what to expect. I honestly didn't know that all the black and everything was sculpted on him. I thought it was just a super smooth base body and then the black was all just painted on. It is sculpted and then painted, which is really cool. And then Carnage comes with an insane amount of accessories. Like, I don't know, I did not realize or think of how many accessories Carnage would come with. So, I mean, just look at this pile here of everything that he has. This is insane how much he comes with. So, we're going to go over the accessories quickly for each figure. So, Venom, we actually get some cool stuff. We get these awesome webs. So, no just like straight webs that go around the wrist like Spider-Man gets. They're white in color, and as you can see, they're just kind of like all kinds of all over the place with the web, which is really cool. So we get that one there, this one here, this one here, and then this one here. So the cool thing about these is you actually would put like these around the arms, and then, you know, he can kind of, looks like he's shooting out of his arm, just kind of like how it actually was, you know, it's no whipping, you know, it just comes out of the symbiote. So we get the 4 pieces of web, which is really cool with Venom. We get an Eddie Brock head and then neck, so you can see like the symbiote goo. We get a standard Venom head, very McFarlane looking, so that is awesome. We have the 3 heads in total. We do not have one with the tongue sticking out. Not the end of the world, but that would have been cool if they did that. Maybe one day they'll do like another Venom or something. We get magnetized feet and magnetized hands, so that is cool that we get those for Venom, just like we would get with Spider-Man. So we got those there. We get grip hands here, and it looks like they're trigger finger hands, which is a bit odd, but we got the grip hands. We got these open, like, kind of clawed-ish hands there. And then we've also got these aren't fit. These are grip hands as well, but a close grip, tighter grip, I guess it would be. And then he's got fists, which I've already put on, and then out of the package he just has kind of these open hands here. Focus, yeah, these open hands here. So those are the accessories for Venom. Really good. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories for Carnage. I've already swapped out a couple of pieces. So he's got like this mallet hand there for his left. I already put that on. And then he's got this dual dagger like hand for his right. We also get one for the left. So we have that there. So mallet hand for the left. And then he's got these two like dagger like hands for the right and left. Other accessories, he's got these, let's call them sword hands. We get both a right and a left, as you can see there. So that is really nice. We've got these hands here. So these are like spikes, I guess, or like he's shooting out, you know, Symbiote or something. So you can see he's got open hands as opposed to a fist. And we get a right and left for this as well. So that's just kind of crazy what we got going on there. We've got not a web, or I guess it'd be kind of like a web. So this is just the Carnage symbiote there, as you can see. We get a large axe, and this is going to be for his right hand. So this is really cool. There, it's got that barbed at the end. So that is nice. There, we get these tendrils here, so you can kind of wrap these around his arms or wherever you want to put these. So those two tendril pieces. We've got magnetic feet for Carnage as well. We've got magnetic hands for Carnage too. So he's got these large open clawed hands with the magnets. So that is cool. We've got, what do we've got? We've got these open clawed hands, which of course we should have. These are the wide open ones. And then we've also got another set of tighter ones. They're not quite grip hands, but you could probably loose grip something. But we got these hands here. Then we also have like finger, like he's pinching hands, I guess it would be. I don't know. We've got these, both a right and a left. We've got fists, of course. So fists for Carnage, and then we've got grip hands here, and these look like trigger finger type hands. Obviously they're not, but those are the grip hands there. And then we also get 3 heads for Carnage. So here, this head is my favorite. That it looks really good. That's on the figure. And then we get the unmasked, or yeah, I guess it'd be unmasked Cletus Cassidy head sculpt. That looks really nice there. And then we get this one, and I think this one was a little bit of the controversy because it looks good straight on. You know, you got the pink opening in his mouth. That was, you know, how artwork really looked there. But, oops, the way they did it is just odd. Like, why wouldn't they just, like, have it open and then paint the inside pink? It's just a completely flat, and there's no opening there, which I think it should have been. I understand the coloring, but, you know, when you have 2D art, you know, you're not going to see the opening, but in 3D, it should, and it's kind of odd. So that's a little unfortunate. So those are all the accessories for Carnage and Venom. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the figures themselves before we take a look at their articulation, which the articulation is very good on both these guys. Okay, so to take a up-close look, we're going to start with Venom, because since technically I've reviewed him years ago in the past, he looks really good. We got the open mouth there. The spider logo is very clean on mine. I know that potentially there could be some issues with some folks, but mine is good. I got no issues. Very clean looking there. I don't know how well it comes off, but there's this blue tint and shading throughout the figure that looks really, really good. I have the Mafex Black Suit Symbiote Spider-Man, and it's similar, except it's a lighter blue color, whereas the Symbiote had a darker blue shading throughout. This one is definitely a lighter blue, so you could see. And you can notice it a lot more, I guess, probably because it's a lighter blue. But yeah, it looks really good. There, again, we get the different head sculpt. So here we have the open mouth head sculpt. We're going to pop that off, and let's put the closed mouth. His teeth are still exposed, but this one I really, really like. Oh, looks like I got some paint rub on the back of that. Not a big deal. I'm sure that'll come off. Why does this not want to pop on there? What am I doing wrong? There it goes. And there we have that Venom. Very good look for Venom, I must say. I like that. And then the Eddie Brock head, it comes with a new neck, so you can kind of see his neck is partially exposed, and we see the symbiote goo, you know, like going up his neck. So you just get a firm grip of the neck, pull it off, and then you could pop this one on there. And then we've got our Eddie Brock showing himself, and that looks really good. So that is Venom. Venom looks great, but we're going to focus more on Carnage because I haven't reviewed Carnage. It's my first time there. Height-wise, they're about the same, and I'll show that a little bit later when I do side-by-side comparisons. But there we go with Carnage. And again, all this black, that's all sculpted and then painted. I just thought this was a completely smooth figure in the past. And I've never actually watched a review of the Mafex Carnage before because I always I don't need it in my collection. I got Marvel Legends Carnages. But I'm getting into Mafex quite a bit, so I'm like, ooh, you know, this is my chance. Like, if I don't take the chance to get it, to order it, I probably won't ever get it again. And the way Mafex figures work, you know, they sell out, and then maybe they'll do a reissue years down the road. Maybe not, you know, so you got to take the chance. But that looks really good. Just kind of crazy, the details on there. What does suck, though, is when you look at the knees. You got all this, tendril goo going throughout his body, and then you got these clean-ass knees there. So that is a bit odd. The elbow is kind of the same thing, but it's on the back of the figure. It's not as noticeable. It's just those kneecaps. It's like, man, you couldn't just do a little squiggly line in each one. I'm sure those knee joints are probably used on several other figures and things like that. But that would have been cool because it would have looked a lot better. You know what I mean? So we have that there. Now we do get, again, a couple of different head sculpts on there. We don't get a neck for the Cletus Cassidy head sculpt on this guy, but we have the two head sculpts. And again, this is the one where people probably aren't happy. It's like the screaming head sculpt. 2D would look pretty good, but 3D, it just doesn't work. It's kind of funky. It should have been open in there, and I just don't understand the real reasoning why they did it this way. Maybe because it would just, sculpt-wise, couldn't do the teeth quite right. Which I can understand, but man, it just would have been so much better, I think. But that's that head sculpt. Put the Cletus Cassidy head sculpt on there. And this looks really good there, too. Very creepy looking, very scary. There. So that is Cletus Cassidy. But there we go. That's Carnage. Looks great. So now let's go ahead and move on to the articulation. Okay, so we're going to go over the articulation. We'll start with Venom. Venom can look all the way up, which is great. He can look all the way down. You get full side-by-side or rotation in that head sculpt, and you get some good pivot as the head and the neck each can move independently of his own. One thing I didn't mention, and I didn't really notice it at first, this head sculpt here doesn't have as much of the shading, so it almost looks a bit weird where you really see a lot of the blue in the neck, and then you go into his head is mostly black. There is some of the shading up at the top, but it just does kind of stand out a little bit, so just a heads up on that. The arm, you can get the shoulder to go up straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there. You got a butterfly joint that allows for some rotation in there. It doesn't really go back a whole lot. It comes forward a little bit, so you can get that much cross body, which is good. You got an upper bicep swivel in there, double jointed elbow like so. Wrists swivel and hinge. They are on a ball joint hinge, so you could swivel and hinge any which way that you need to. The ball peg at the waist and the diaphragm cut, you can get Venom to tilt to his left that much there. In total, you can get him to tilt to his right that much there. You can lean back that much there, and then you can come forward that much there, which is really good. There, you get a little bit of a twist at that diaphragm, but you know the ball joint waist is really where you're going to want to do it. You get a drop down hip, so you can drop the hip down that much there, and then with the drop down hips, you can get him to do the splits. Whoops, pop the leg off. I've been doing that a lot with the Mafex figures lately, it seems. So you can get the legs to go out that far apart there. You can kick forward very high up, as you can see there. And then the leg actually doesn't really go back at all, so just a heads up on that. There is some swivel in that thigh, not a huge amount, but you can get some turn in there. Double jointed knee gives you that much bend there. Oop, pop the foot off. There is the ball joint at the ankle, so you could twist the ankle. You can hinge down a little bit. You can hinge up a little bit, and you have toe articulation, and then, of course, ankle pivot, which is really good there. So that is Venom's articulation. Very good. We'll go into Carnage's articulation. So Carnage can look up as well. He can look all the way down. The neck itself is a separate piece, so you could swivel the head and then you can pivot the neck around as much as you need to do. The shoulders, you can get the arm to go straight on out. Full rotation in there. He's got a butterfly joint as well. Does not go back nearly as much, but coming forward, you should be able to get some crossbody going in there. You got to go a little bit high on it with it though, but you can do some. You got an upper bicep swivel in there, double jointed elbow there, wrist swivel, and they hinge, ball joint hinge, so you can hit swivel and hinge any which way you need. Ball joint at the waist, diaphragm cut, so you can get the diaphragm cut to move on his own. But with the ball joint waist, you can get him to tilt to his left that much, which is an insane amount. And then going to the right, you can do that. Again, insane amount on that tilt, which is pretty crazy. Going back, you can go back that much there. So that is a huge amount. You would get some gap in there, so just a heads up on that. And then coming forward, you can come that far forward there. Swivel at that diaphragm, you get a really good swivel there, and you got a swivel at the waist as well. Drop down hips, so you can drop the hips down that much. It's not a huge amount, but you can do it. You can do the full splits, as you can see there. You can kick forward that high. Leg goes back a tiny bit. Less swivel in his thigh than Venom had, but you do get some turn in there. It's just very limited, so just a heads up. Double jointed knee, like so. Tendrils would have been nice, but the knee gives you that much bend. Ankle swivel in there. You can hinge down quite a bit. You can hinge up quite a bit. Ankle pivot and toe articulation for Carnage. So Carnage definitely has the better points of articulation, whereas I think with Carnage, you know, you would have to get him into some crazy poses because Carnage is a psychopath, you know, like Cletus Cassidy is crazy. So, you know, getting him into some creepy, crazier poses is kind of a thing when it comes to Carnage. So, you know, he definitely moves a lot better. Okay, so just having some fun with Carnage. I kept forgetting to put the tendrils on the arms. It does add a little bit of like depth to the figure and add some detail. You know, when you have like the tendrils are forming, like the symbiote is forming, you know, one of his weapons, and you have the tendrils kind of coming out. It kind of really makes sense that they're there, and does add a lot to it, and looks really nice. So that is really cool. And then for Venom, you know, we just have like the web pieces. So again, you could just wrap it around the arm there, which is pretty cool. And then he's shooting the web. So we have that there. But now let's go ahead and see some comparisons of these guys versus some Spider-Man. Okay, so here we have side by side comparisons of the Venom, Carnage, and the number 185 Spider-Man figure, which just got reissued not long ago. So that is also in stock at Big Bad Toy Store if you're looking to pick him up. But as you can see here, I think size-wise is all pretty good. Carnage looks to be just a tad bit taller than Spider-Man. And Venom is taller than Spider-Man, so again, that's the good thing. As you can see, Carnage is a little bit taller, and then Venom, he is a little bit taller than Spider-Man. So it's not as bad as I remember, but I feel like he should be a little bit taller. Now, I don't know if you go into like the Marvel profiles and stuff, how tall Peter Parker is versus how tall Eddie Brock is. I believe Eddie Brock is taller than Peter Parker by how much, I can't recall or say, but... And again, Venom doesn't need to be like massive, but he should be a little bit bigger. And this is not as bad as I remember. Now, unless they made some kind of differences to this Venom and made him a little bit larger, which I don't think Mafex would do. I think if they were to do something like that, they would just make a new number or like a renewal version like they did the Into the Spider-Verse figures. But it's not as bad as I remember. But yes, I would like if Venom were a little bit taller. But to me, the size comparison is actually pretty good there. So that is a great thing for sure. And then switching out Spider-Man, we can put in another symbiote in there. We have the black costume Spider-Man, as you can see there. And again, you can see that Spider-Man, his symbiote is a lot darker than Venom's. As he gets the dark blue shading versus the light blue shading, and he doesn't have as much in there, and that also looks really good together. Oh, so I had this super cool idea, like I'm gonna make a Spider Carnage and it's gonna be awesome, and then the head won't stay on there, and then the hands won't go on there. Bummer. Okay, so that is my review of the Carnage and the Venom figure. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of these two Mafex figures? Did you get Carnage before? Are you excited to be able to get it now? Again, it is in stock right now. And then the Venom figure, as this is like the second reissue, is it one where you picked up the first time, the second time, or are you looking to pick up this third time around? So I'm really liking them. Very happy to now have these both in my collection. Venom again, but Carnage for the first time. Very pleased with them. I'd like to see more Spider-Man characters orders get made. The Spider-Man No Way Home final swing suit looks to be going up on pre-order on Monday, December 23rd. So I'm extremely excited for that one. That is going to be my most anticipated figure of next year. So I cannot wait. But you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of the Mafex figure line? What do you think of the Venom and Carnage? And then let me know if you guys are picking them up. Links in the video description below if you're looking to grab them. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Again, we're only 200 away from hitting 50,000 subscribers, so make sure hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be notified when all my new reviews go up. And as always, thank you for watching.